Should work out. Bang! There we are again. Your music right now, but that's not about me. So yeah, we're going right here with Venville and Kamigani against Mrs. Hammer and Corton and Ketik. Going on for a little while already. We're in 801 June, so we lost a little bit of a start right there. Not too bad though, since we can at least get it from this side. I could still try. No. Nope, not gonna be possible right here. I just wanted to try to get the other side running before and didn't realize they already started right there. Yet gonna be able to see Venrail scouting out there quite a bit with the Goat Clan. I'm just gonna try to get a little bit of a feeling for the game right here. He has 10 sheeps running. So that seems to be a great position for Venrail right here. Mrs. Hammer should be in a similar position with 290. In 801 June with a few upgrades already and quite a bit of gold. That might be an early attack right here. I can basically guarantee that this should be a best of 3 now in the finals. I also thought that the semifinals would be a best of 3, but this didn't happen to be the case right here, I guess. So we jump right in here into the finals right away. Sorry for having, not having the start basically down. It doesn't seem to have happened anything right here, just a basic eco build up for both of the teams. Venrail having quite a bit of gold production here, to be honest, but having 10 sheeps, this shouldn't be actually too special of a thing here. I guess that Mrs. Hammer basically has a similar thing going on, if they don't try to go for a similar rush strategy right now, but the strategy from the last game would have hit at the time right now, I guess. And they also have scouts around their base, so they might not be thinking about that right now. Professional music, Pepe, please. Not a problem, Mr. Allen. It doesn't actually kick in right here. But that's about the game not doing. Yeah, there. Now it comes back. The music is actually turned on. I thought about this. But yeah, sometimes the music in game will just not be on, right? So, food economy seems to be an important thing for Venrail right now. I wonder why that. I wonder why that. With that much gold on the count, having 12 warband for the 801 attack. It seems to come in winter right here, if I'm honest. But I can't be 100% sure what they are trying to do. I don't know if there's an actual connection. There is an actual connection right there. They're gonna try to scout it out as soon as possible. Kamigani seems to be fairly ready right there. His pings are at least suggesting that for me. And Venrail now going for the main tile and this tile right there. Oh, sorry, just having a little slip to drink here. Do a lot of time between games here, man. But there's already going more camps down for Venrail right here. He doesn't have enough. He wants that 16. 16 are way more interesting for him right there. On the same fame count as Mrs. Hammer. Also gotta note that like we're playing on a balanced map here, so she must be in a similar position. Maybe not quite 10, maybe they did something special there in the start of the game to acquire a few bonus sheep there, maybe a few more tiles than the other team has. I can't tell you about that, but it doesn't seem so. If I look at the map right now, it looks fairly standardly colonized, not really by Kamigani. It seems a few little holes right there of tiles that I didn't want to go for. But the goat seems fairly normal right there, so it seems like they shouldn't have too much more sheeps gathered than the other team has. And the area of Mrs. Hammer actually looks insanely big, and now also going for the camps right there. Scouts are coming home. I think they have both of the main tiles scouted. All's what they want to know. Now it's going home with the 900 gold at the end of 801. Oh my god. Do you want to get that? Do you want to have that in your home? Like, incoming to you, I guess. I wouldn't. You gotta keep in mind that Venreal has 17 villagers. And they're all gonna make their way up soon to the other side of the map. That will be a rough one. Yeah. This food is yet plastendo. Having the... Oh my godness. Disgusting. Disgusting. Oh my goodness. Giving the tile with the camps over to Cammy. So he can get more army right there. That's why his warband just dropped to 10. Fairly common in the last tournament, saw that quite often right there. And now coming in with a quite insane amount of army right there. Oh my god, man. Just 14 army coming out from Venreal right here. And he doesn't look too bad over the winter. He can keep that. He can keep that. He's still plus 12 gold. Oh my god. How do you do that? Well, I guess 10 sheeps have something to do with it. So, Mrs. Hammer might also be on a good pace right there. We see a lot of warriors coming in there. Also for the Horse Clan player. Kamigani's army shouldn't be too bad either though. Can't quite lay my finger on how many it actually are, but I wouldn't think that those are too less. Since he at least got 6 warband there from Venreal handed over. But they can definitely play the clock. Maybe they wait for the other team to starve here, banking on the other team to not have as good of a food production as they have. Kamigani, of course, not that butthurt about having his army out in the winter, since his winter food production isn't actually that bad as a bear. You see him still having a few villagers there going for food, so he shouldn't be all too bad right there. See the silo going down for Venreal. The bear is actually going back, most likely buffing the food economy of Cammy a little bit so that they can have the stalemate a little bit longer here and watch if the other team actually has enough food to keep up this amount of army. This is oftentimes what players will bank on, that you over popped your army right there and you will start starving at the border. Few warriors getting low there. I don't know if it's actually about starving, it might be, or if they already started low into the fight. Having the bars closely in my eyes, but I can't quite make it out. One sheep making its way over. Oh, okay. So it's definitely working. It's definitely working right there. Curtain not having as good as the food economy here, and in the long term, Mrs. Hammer now definitely hurt. Now maximum of 9 sheep for her. And definitely suggesting to Venreal and Kamigani that they're doing the right thing right there. Definitely hurting the right player, and I think I see the first brown warrior getting low on life right there. That could be reason in a starvation. Some are kicking in. Venreal, 14 army, doesn't even care. Doesn't even care. He can wait until the next winter. It's actually the final, Mr. Tamer. Hype! Sorry if I'm not hyped enough. Yeah, it's actually the final, man. Venreal and Kamigani against Mrs. Hammer and Curtin and Onat. No, I can't do that right now. Later on also show the teams. Team names, I actually have them right here. Just give me a little second. Oh no, that's actually not the final. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Sorry guys. Give me 1 second. No. Match is cancelled against Friendly Neighborhood right here. That's the semifinals. Since we had our semifinals like a really quick one, and Chess Berserkers went through, Hobo Kings were gone quite quickly after the match, if I really got that right. Like I were streaming the match and the game were closed right after the game. Usually the semifinals should be a free best of 3, so I guess that this might end up as a best of 3 right here. This is team matches cancelled against Team Friendly Neighborhood. Thanks, Mr. Tamer, for pointing that out for me, that this is the semi-final. Thankfully, I didn't announce this here as the final. Yeah, but Chess Berserkers are through from the other semi-finals that I wanted to cover, but it's already through, so I'm also gonna cover this semi-final right here. Venrail just hit me up about that. Don't know if he heard from somewhere that the other game were already gone. But yeah. I'm gonna treat it as the final though. I'm gonna treat it as the final. Just gotta write it in chat, man. So yeah, just wrote that in chat. Coming in there. Yeah, really nice guys. Sorry if I confused you there a little bit. But no, we're just right now in the semifinals right here. And the horse getting quite messed up right here. Will the war chief die? I think the war chief will... Nope. Nope. Will he? Will he? Nope. Will he? Ah, he did it. He did it. He did it. That were a nice little micro action there from the Wolf Clan player. From the Horse Clan player. That were cheesy, man. Making use of the yeah, attack delay that you will have when you enter into a tile, just jiggling a little bit from tile to tile, so no one were actually able to attack him there. They were quite nice, quite nice. Let's see if the army can actually be enough. There's more army coming in for the Horse Clan player. Curtain getting Kurha. I don't know, man. Have hard ways to get a nickname for him, but the fight is happening right there and it's looking fairly good for Mrs. Hammer. I see a lot of yellow health bars going up, but Cammy also not really impressed and will win the fight here. Cammy with the shield bearers prevailing. A lot of food here for Venrail. And going on with his last villagers right there. His problem is definitely not having enough food. It's really just about the flesh, man. He needs more villagers to get into warriors and basically to work in the as merchants, of course. But now it's mostly about just getting this army in the front and trying to push the enemies down. I guess that could actually also work out. The war chiefs of the Horse Clan definitely making it a little bit harder right there to deal the damage out with the axe throwers. They don't really want to have that tile taken behind them, of course, but will they be able? It's hard to say. Definitely just trying to go for it. Either, I think it must be Curtain since he's not getting attacked right now. So. Oh no, it's actually from Venrail. Okay, I read this situation completely wrong. Venrail going for that tile right there. That definitely made a little more sense from the progression bar right there. Already ask myself why it's rising when Venrail pushes in. But yeah, taking the tower right there to get a little bit lower of an attack debuff. Now actually non-existent for them since they are bordering the other players right there. And a good use for Venrail's food right there. He doesn't, this doesn't hurt him at all to go for the stalls, and will even stall the opponents out in case that they don't bring this attack through and get pushed back. They still have a lot of time through all the tiles that the opponent needs to push through right there. Very, very smart using of the goat's food. Overhaul, I'm gonna call it right here. Quite strong, quite strong. Did the tile just get taken away there? It were. But still under control of Venrail right here. Who's still waiting to get more villagers right here. Recruitment would be a blessing, of course. Feast, man, so much food. Yeah, it would be cool, but you don't really buff any villagers. Like, you have no villagers working, and then you basically just buff your sheeps working, and yeah, that would end you up with having even more food. So I can understand why he's not just clicking the feast button here like crazy. Might help Cammy a bit, but just right now also not really, because he has so many shield bearers out. Doesn't really make too much of a difference right there. And the fight right there I think is good for Cammy, if I'm not mistaken. He really wants to fight right there, but might actually lose that fight. Okay, that's a close one, man. That's such a close one. But Cammy will actually win. Okay. Didn't thought that wrong there. The shield bearers doing a good job. Venrail doing a very good job at saving his war chief right there, pulling him back, and going for the next tile there. No respect. No respect. The respect down 0. Most likely breaking down all those buildings. Okay. Okay, that's a meme now. Just take the burning market of your opponent and trade a little bit away, though. Take a little bit of my food, bro. That's very nice, that's very nice. And keeping on the aggression on the stall here, the war chiefs of the horse doing a good job, though, getting the shield, the axe throwers down. That definitely deal out a lot of damage there. And might actually be able to push this attack back for now. Definitely not the best of positions you want to be in here for the team matches cancelled, but they might still be able to come back from it. Like, it's yet goat and horse, but the goat clan already lost a few of his sheep, at least one of his sheep over to his opponent to his teammate at the stalemate position, and that already means that Venrail is working on a higher food production here all the time, even though it doesn't really make that much of a difference right here, because Venrail, of course, mostly uses the food to take the tiles right there. But again, only the time that you get through it, or the happiness that he will gain to get faster villagers, it's just worth it. So it seems to be fairly good right here, and we see his gold count rising. He will be at quite some armies soon again, and might be able to get the last push in. 10 sheeps is just disgusting. Yeah, it's basically, the problem is how do you bank on that? Like, what do you do out of that food? And in a situation like this, when you don't have a lot of villagers, it's of course a little bit weird. Like, you're gonna be completely overproducing food right there. But it's of course just great that you don't need to think then about, do I send this villager to trade, or do I need another fisherman? Nah, you send this villager to trade. You don't even think about it. Kamigani coming in here with 4 more shield bearers. I see 4 X-Rose popped for Venrail right there. The tower is going up for Mrs. Hammer in the main tile, so they most likely want to stop that as soon as they can. But they are the X-Throwers. Watch out. The damage is there. Another shield bearer coming in for Kamigani too. And Venrail should be able to also get a little bit of a bonus into the front right there. He has a little bit of gold, but he might not even aim for that and rather keep a little bit of a production at home to maybe get ready for another push. And keep the X-Thrower prices a little bit lower. While I actually think that they should be able to end this game right here if they play it right. And maybe Mrs. Hammer and Curtain don't really synchronize their defense right here. But there's already some army coming in. The problem is that they don't really have a supply lines debuff working for them anymore, since Venrail is so much in their base just because of his food production that they can't really do anything against that then. Get a few X-Thrower attacks in there on the War Chiefs. That definitely hurts all the time. Like, they are quite tanky in the long run, but it's more of those random X-Thrower attacks you get in, the less of a use you can actually make of them, of course. When we're now trying to defend a tile right there, I don't even think that he's interested in defending there at all. It's all about just, okay, this is a very important fight right there. And oh, it's again one of the close ones, man, but I think Cammy and Venrail are looking good in this. There's another shield bearer coming in from Cammy, trying to get a little bit more damage in, but it seems to be enough right there. Destroying the buildings for the goat having less and less of an eco, lost 2 sheeps again there, standing on the tile right there that Venrail is going to go for right away, and maybe even stealing those sheeps away to get even more. Like 12 sheeps now for Venrail. That's a yikes. And now I think it's a really hard. He's actually just slaughtering them. Yeah, obviously he needs the food. He needs the food. That is just, yeah. BM. Just kidding though. I guess he just doesn't want to pull them back and yeah, build sheepfolds for them, all that stuff that you would need to do right at that point. And I don't think that his both areas are connected right now, even though that he must have the food to actually go for that, while the food is actually dropping a little bit for him. I don't know what he did, but he might have taken a tile. That would be the logic answer for me right there. How he could have dropped so much in food. I didn't realize what happened, but I guess that must have been it. Stolen sheep, yeah! Oh my god! It's so sad, man. And the kobolds making their way to help, actually, Venrail and Cammy a little bit if they don't plan to do another attack. While I actually think that they plan to do another attack. Why would you want your opponent to breathe much longer? But in the end, you can now take your time a little bit. You now have the definitive cheap advantage. Like, you're at least 3 sheep ahead. So if you now play the long game, you are very likely to win it. But if you are in such a good position right now, it of course only also makes a lot of sense to just push it through and, yeah, take the last breath of your opponent as long as he's on the floor. While I guess the very safe approach would now to go for the eco play right now, but they can be sure that they did a lot of damage already, so it makes a lot of sense to go aggressive right here. But you see, they don't really go all in. There are 6 X-Throwers for Venrail. He could go for a lot more right there, but they're taking a safe approach here. In case they get defended, they don't lose everything. They can yet do the same thing again with colonizing a few tiles at the front, maybe. They yet have a tile at the front, so the supply lines debuff is still not really there. That will definitely give them quite a bit of advantage in this fight, as if they wouldn't have that tile. So this little tile makes a lot of difference right there. And with another market, wants a little more of gold production. Makes sense. Like, with this amount of sheep, you would want A little bit more gold production, of course. Didn't really went for the harbor right here, none of the goats. I think that's really notable that we don't see any docks right here, while it could have been broken down before we joined in, but I don't think that happens. Like if we build the dock at 800 winter, you won't break it down at the mid of 801. Most likely, I don't think that's something that players would actually do that quickly. If you go for the lure, you most likely go for the lure until the later times. And there's more and more coming in for Mrs. Hammer right there. It might actually be enough. It might actually be enough. We'll see right now though. And the yellow bars are descending right here, so it might not be enough right here. That's most likely a GG here for Venreal and Kamigani. With a lot of pressure, they were actually able to lock it down here. Nicely microing down the extras here though. Like, you see how the extra numbers just broke down to nothing here. So really nice game from Mrs. Hammer and Kurhan right here. Kurhatan. Yeah, at least once I said the name right. And locked it down right there. Really nice, really nice. It seems to be a best of 3 though, since they're getting ready just right for the next game. So they will play it out as in 3v3. That's cool. I'm definitely gonna stay them right here. Gonna have a little try